When little Emily tugged her dad's sleeve and pointed to a sad-looking dog on the roadside, no one could have guessed what would happen next. But when the dog looked up and whimpered, the sound made her father freeze. The next moments would break everyone's heart. Before we start, make sure to hit like and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. It was a quiet Sunday afternoon when Daniel and his 7-year-old daughter, Emily, walked home from the park. The sun hung low, painting the street in shades of gold. Emily skipped ahead, humming, when suddenly she stopped. "Daddy, look!" she whispered. On the side of the road sat an old man beneath a faded umbrella, a cardboard sign resting against his chair. "Dog for sale. Needs a new home." Beside him lay a German shepherd, thin, tired, but dignified. His fur was dusty and his eyes, though weary, held something gentle, something noble. Emily's heart melted instantly. She crouched down, smiling. "Hi there, boy," she said softly. The dog lifted his head, tail wagging once before resting it again. "Daddy, can we buy him?" she asked, turning her big, pleading eyes up at Daniel. Daniel paused, taking in the scene. The old man, the lonely dog, his daughter's hopeful face. He sighed quietly, his voice tender but firm. "Sweetheart, we can't take in another pet right now." Emily's smile faded, but her eyes never left the dog. Daniel crouched beside his daughter, his voice gentle but firm. "Emily, honey, we already have bills piling up." Another mouth to feed. "We just can't right now." Her shoulders slumped. She glanced back at the dog, who sat quietly, watching her with calm, intelligent eyes. He didn't bark or pull on his leash. He simply waited, as if he understood every word. The old man gave a weary smile. "He's a good one," he said softly. "Found him wandering near the forest 2 weeks ago. Hardly eats, barely sleeps, just sits there, like he's waiting for someone who never came." Daniel's brow furrowed. There was something about the dog's eyes, steady, deep, and strangely familiar. He couldn't quite place it, but a flicker of recognition tugged at the back of his mind. Emily knelt down again, stroking the dog's fur. "It's okay, boy," she whispered. "If I could, I'd take you home." The dog's ears twitched as if he believed her. Daniel exhaled and stood up, brushing the dust from his knees. "Come on, sweetheart," he said softly. "Let's go." Emily gave the dog one last pat before taking her father's hand. Together they began walking away. But just as they reached the corner, a low, trembling whine broke the air. It was soft, almost fragile, but it froze Daniel in his tracks. His grip on Emily's hand tightened. His breath caught. That sound, he knew it. He turned slowly. The dog was standing now, trembling, eyes locked on him. Another whine escaped its throat, longer this time, raw with emotion. Emily looked up, confused. "Daddy, what's wrong?" Daniel didn't answer. He couldn't. His chest felt heavy, like the past had just punched through years of silence. He stared at the dog, his pulse thundering. "That sound?" he whispered, barely audible. The old man frowned. "You okay, sir?" Daniel's voice was hoarse. "Where did you say you found him?" "By the forest," the man replied. "Near the old rescue site." Daniel's heart skipped a beat. His face paled. "That's impossible," he murmured, his eyes never leaving the dog. Daniel knelt slowly, his knees pressing into the dirt. The dog stayed still, watching him with cautious, glassy eyes. His fur was rough, the color dulled by time, but something about the way he tilted his head, it was achingly familiar. "Easy, boy," Daniel whispered, reaching out. The dog didn't flinch. Instead, he took a hesitant step closer, tail giving a faint wag. Daniel's trembling fingers brushed against the dog's collar. The leather was cracked, worn from years of wear. As he turned it around, faded metal caught the light. There, engraved in small, almost invisible letters, were the words that made his heart stop cold. K9 Rex. Handler, Officer Daniel Brooks. His breath hitched. His hand froze midair. "No, it can't be," he whispered. Emily blinked, confused. "Daddy, what does it say?" He couldn't speak. His throat tightened as memories crashed back. Flames, shouting, the sound of sirens, and a loyal dog disappearing into smoke. Daniel's eyes filled with tears. He looked at the dog again, voice trembling. "Rex?" The German shepherd's ears perked up, tail wagging faintly. Then came that same soft whine, broken, familiar, and heartbreakingly real. Rex had found his way back. The old man's eyes widened. "You mean, this was your police dog?" he asked, disbelief softening his voice. Daniel nodded slowly, tears glistening in his eyes. "He saved a child during a fire years ago. The building collapsed before I could reach him. We searched for days, but they said he was gone." His voice broke on the last word. The old man shook his head, amazed. "He showed up near that forest a few months back, limping, thin, but alive. I tried to feed him, but he only stayed near the road. Every evening he'd stare at the horizon, like he was waiting for someone." Daniel swallowed hard, his hand resting on Rex's head. "He was waiting for me," he whispered. Emily wrapped her small arms around the dog's neck. "He found you again, Daddy." Rex pressed his head into Daniel's chest, letting out a low, contented sigh. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. Just a man, his daughter, and a loyal friend who had never stopped believing they'd be together again. Daniel's voice quivered as he murmured, "You never gave up on me, did you, boy?" Rex's tail thumped softly in reply. Daniel wiped his eyes, his voice still trembling. He looked at the old man. "Please, how much do you want for him?" The old man shook his head gently, a faint smile tugging at his lips. "For me, nothing. He's not mine to sell. Looks like he already found where he belongs." Daniel's throat tightened. He reached into his wallet anyway and pressed a few bills into the man's hand. "Then let this be a thank you for keeping him safe." The man hesitated, then nodded with quiet respect. "Take him home, officer." Emily clapped her hands, unable to hide her joy. "We're really taking him, Daddy?" Daniel smiled through tears. "Yes, sweetheart. We're bringing him home." As they walked away, Rex trotted beside them, his limp barely noticeable now. The golden sunlight bathed them as they turned the corner. A father, his daughter, and a loyal friend finally reunited. Daniel glanced down at Rex and whispered, "Sometimes love doesn't get lost. It just finds its way back." Rex's tail wagged in silent agreement. Weeks passed and Rex settled into his new home as if he'd never left. His once weak frame filled out again, his fur regaining its soft sheen. Every morning he waited by the door, tail wagging when Daniel grabbed his keys, just like old times. At night, Rex would rest by the fireplace, his head on Emily's lap as she colored beside him. Daniel often sat quietly nearby, coffee in hand, watching them both with a faint smile. Sometimes he'd whisper, "Welcome home, partner," and Rex's ears would twitch in reply, as if he understood every word. Daniel had lost a friend once, but fate had given him back a family. The camera lingers on Rex's peaceful eyes before fading to black as the narrator's voice says softly, "If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because sometimes heroes really do find their way home."